Now they reporting that Tobias Harris can be on the move. Ain't no stopping us. We on the move. You know what I'm saying? We got the groove. But, I mean, it was one of the worst kept secrets. We knew what it was, that Tobias Harris could be, out of there. Contract year. They want to upgrade that spot. Attractive contract. Tim gone. Tim Hardaway Jr. gone. Don't know what he doing in Denver. Malik Beasley, he gone right now. I think he going to be gone for quite some time. I feel like we had somebody else we feel like we lost. Tim Hardaway. Oh, Dennis Schroeder, he gone. But I feel like it was three of them we had. It was Tim Hardaway. Oh, Tobias was the third. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, So, yeah, we knew they was going to make a move, and the rumor is they can make a major move. Really, the NBA season really don't feel like it started until Christmas Day. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, now you looking. Now you looking around the league. You see who bad. You see the guys who up for trade. Probably the whole Sacramento Kings roster, especially the older players, Sabonis. What's the brother name? DeRozan. Zach LaVine. I mean, then you go out there. Trae Young can be on the move. Ja Morant can be on the move. I read something on X that say LaMelo just trying to get out of Charlotte. He can be on the move. Paul George can be on the move. Joel Embiid can be on the move. The Brooklyn Nets roster probably looking to make some moves. Michael Porter Jr. could be on the move. So whoever really at the bottom and probably going to stick at the bottom, those are probably the teams that you're looking for to probably, move and shake right now. Lauri Markkanen, Dallas, AD, Kyrie. I seen Terry Foster crash out over there. And it made a lot of sense, him crashing out. I mean, that's what we speaking on. The inability for AD and Kyrie to stay healthy. I mean, obviously, if he's healthy, it's a great basketball fit. But obviously, Terry Foster, whatever I seen just the headline, whatever he said is accurate. I trust to believe Terry's a very smart guy. Smart. You don't want to pour into a guy that, you make it to the finals and he scratches his elbow and it's over with, right? So, I mean, that's you pretty much looking to upgrade that four position. What you looking for? Somebody that can defend the position, somebody that can stretch the floor, bare minimum. You don't need a superstar, but if you can get one at that position, flat out. But what they still missing is a flat out pure scorer. So, I don't perceive Ivy being that guy. Duran is providing some scoring, but I think they need a guy that can flat out just, hey, man, go do your thing. And when you look at, who can be available that can do those things, I mean, the first guy on the list that he's not available, but Kevin Durant is an ideal guy that you want to do those things. That size, that position, he still can get bucket. So you're looking for somebody that can do that. So, PJ Washington would be an interesting guy. He's not the scorer. He's not the scorer, but he's a solid guy, But you want that guy that can just get it. You know what I'm saying? And Lauri Markkanen probably fits the bill the best. He's probably the guy that get you. I mean, right now he's averaging 30. He's not the defender that AD is. He's young. He can get off the dribble. He's exactly what you need. You know what I'm saying? Just that young, spry scorer. Sabonis would be interesting, but how would him and Duran really work out together? I don't really see him being the real stretch threat. You know what I mean? I don't really see him being that real stretchy threat. So you look and you say, hey man, maybe we could take a flyer on Michael Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he can defend, he catch and shoot, maybe it work. But then maybe you start looking at make multiple plays. Maybe you can snatch a PJ Washington and you're gonna absorb that contract, which ain't looking too bad right now compared to what most guys get. Maybe you can snatch that contract from PJ or somebody who can come and fill that position. And maybe you can try to see if you can get a Devin Booker. Maybe you can try to look at it and say, hey, man, I know Jalen Green getting bitches tattooed on him. Maybe you look at a Jalen Green who won't cost you much. Maybe you look at a couple things that may cost you. Even if you make a move for Lauri Markkanen and you get something, you got some pieces left over, and you don't pretty much, believe in Ivy like that, or you need somebody and Malik don't come back, maybe you look at a Clay. Maybe you look at a Moses Moody. Maybe you look at maybe as an alternative, maybe you're willing to look at a Kuminga to play that 4 spot. Maybe you looking at this other alternatives. If you make a couple small moves, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Maybe you make a major move with Lauri Markkanen, and then you try to get a guy like Beasley back or Klay Thompson back, or you try to get somebody that can really be, really help you at that 2 position. He probably got to be that flat out scorer, but he can defend a little bit, catch and shoot, score a little bit, maybe a little bit, something like that. Maybe you get a Michael Porter Jr., pair him up with a Klay Thompson, Michael Porter Jr., pair him up with a Jalen Green, or you try to go to Phoenix, which they're not going to do it. But, you get a Devin Booker. Maybe you go down there to New Orleans, and instead of going out there and getting an Anthony Davis or a Lauri Markkanen, you try to get a Trey Murphy. And obviously Joe Dumars is going to have an issue with doing a deal with the Detroit Pistons, but maybe you try to go down there and get a Trey Murphy, and then you move and get a dynamic guard that can go in the backcourt, or a guard like a Klay, or a guard like somebody else that can be in the backcourt with him. I don't really all know, just who will be and who won't be available. I'm only thinking of a handful of teams in my head right now, but maybe you can do that. Maybe you make a PJ Washington deal, and maybe you say, hey, maybe we pair, Cade Cunningham in the backcourt with a Trae Young. Or maybe you get somebody to play that 4, like Michael Porter Jr. or somebody, and you get a Trae Young. I'm not saying you should do it or shouldn't do it. But maybe that's the, guy you figure out. Anybody can work with Cade in the backcourt. Key to make it work. So, that's the thing about it. But also, I think what you really want at that 4 position, you like what Michael Porter can do, catch and shoot, big, tall guy, you know what I'm saying? A little bit streaky shooter, but he gonna have a lot of great looks here. But you want, one thing you really want from that position, I think you really want a guy like PJ, bare minimum. A guy that's gonna defend that position, defend it with his life. A guy that can step up and have a big scoring game, and a guy that can, he pretty much remind me of a shooter like Tobias from that spot. Younger, athletic guy. Athletic guy. To me, it would make a lot of sense. You do a PJ move, and then maybe you try to add another dynamic guard back there. And wherever you can find that guard from, I'm just throwing names that I can think of. Maybe you can get, PJ and a Zach LaVine for the low ski. You know what I'm saying? People will be like, what about DeMar? DeMar's a great defender, but I don't think he's the shooter that Zach LaVine is. So, Zach LaVine is a flat-out bucket getter. You get PJ, he can defend. Duran gonna defend, and you able to get a guy in the backcourt with K like Zach LaVine. Yeah, he might be a weak link defensively, but he can score. He can flat out score the basketball. If you can get him to play some defense, you know what I'm saying? It's electric. It's a really electric team. You can just be like, not a lot of playoff experience, if any, but I'm like, hey, homeboy, if you can give me that 25 to 30 a game, that's all we need from you. Play a little defense. Hey, we Gucci. So, but that's just my opinion on it, man. But I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, we'll see what they do with Tobias. Maybe they keep him. But we figured an expiring deal, no extension. He was probably gone regardless. So he was probably gone. So we probably already knew what that was. So check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere from Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.